The red sun of Arden 6 was setting, and the cold night winds were rising fast. The ruined colony world looked like a graveyard of metal. Broken towers, burned homes, and empty streets stretched for miles. Nothing moved except small dust storms, and the sound of distant metal creaking in the wind. Ethan Ward, a simple human engineer, walked alone through the wreckage. His clothes were torn, his boots cracked, and he carried only one small backpack. Inside it was the last thing he had. A single chocolate bar, the last food he had saved for 2 days. He had been trying to reach the rescue point, but everything was destroyed. No ships, no humans, no radio signal. He was completely alone, or so he thought. As he walked past a crashed shuttle, he suddenly heard a small trembling sound, a weak whimper, a soft, painful cry. Ethan stopped immediately and turned his head. There, next to the broken shuttle door, he saw a tiny alien girl curled up on the cold ground. She looked young, maybe 12 or 13 in human years. Her skin was pale silver, glowing softly in the night. Light. Her clothes were ripped, her arms shaking with cold. She tried to sit up but fell back again. Breathing heavily, Ethan felt his heart freeze. She looked starving. She looked helpless. She looked like she hadn't eaten anything in days. For a moment, Ethan didn't move. He was tired, hungry, and scared. He didn't even know if she was dangerous. But when she lifted her head and looked at him, he saw something he could never ignore. Fear, loneliness, a silent wish to survive. "Hey, are you okay?" Ethan asked softly. The girl opened her mouth, but no words came out, only a dry gasp. She held her stomach slowly, as if she had no energy left to speak. Ethan felt a painful twist in his chest. He looked at his bag, at the pale chocolate bar inside it, at his only food, and then at the girl again. She needed it more. He walked slowly toward her, keeping his hands open so she wouldn't be scared. When he reached her, she tried to back away, but she was too weak to move. "It's okay," he whispered. "I won't hurt you." Ethan opened his bag, took out the chocolate bar, and unwrapped it. The smell of sweetness filled the air, something rare on a dying world like Arden 6. The alien girl's eyes widened. She stared at the chocolate like it was magic. "This is all I have left," Ethan said gently. "But you can have it." Her hands trembled as she reached for it. She touched the chocolate slowly, as if unsure if she was allowed to take it. Ethan helped her lift it to her mouth. She took the first bite, and then everything changed. Her weak body froze. Her eyes widened as if she felt a sudden shock. Her heartbeat, which Ethan could almost hear, suddenly went faster. Her pupils changed shape. They narrowed into thin, sharp lines like a predator. Her skin glowed brighter. Her silver hair shifted and moved like liquid metal. Her breathing became steady, stronger, powerful. Ethan stepped back, confused. Hey, are you okay?" The girl slowly stood up, not weak anymore, not starving. Her back straightened, her posture sharp, almost royal. She looked at the chocolate bar in her hand, then at Ethan with eyes that were no longer soft or scared. Now they were ancient, dangerous, knowing. When she spoke, her voice was not weak anymore. It was calm, smooth, and strangely elegant. "You should not have done that, human," she said. Ethan felt his stomach drop. Her voice sounded like someone much older, someone with power. "Why?" "I was just trying to help." She looked at him for a long moment, almost studying him, almost judging him. "Do you know what you have given me?" she asked. "A chocolate bar?" Ethan said nervously. She shook her head slowly. "No, you gave me a binding, a gift of life, a vow." Ethan froze. Binding? Vow? What was she talking about? The girl stepped closer. The air around her seemed warmer now, almost glowing with energy. "In my people's law," she whispered, "food given in a moment of death is the highest oath. The one who gives it becomes a protector. A chosen one. Ethan blinked. Protector? I don't understand. Her eyes shone brighter, almost golden now. You are now tied to me, human, and my enemies will come for you. Because, she paused. Ethan held his breath. I am not a poor girl. The wind fell silent. The ruined world seemed to freeze. I am Lyra Vercalis, she said quietly. Heir to the Varithian throne. Ethan's heart stopped. Royalty. A prince's. A dangerous alien species known for war, and he had just fed her. Before he could speak, a loud explosion echoed across the sky. A burning red light flashed above the clouds. Lyra looked up sharply. They found me. Who? Ethan whispered. Lyra turned to him slowly, her eyes glowing like sharp stars. My hunters, she said. And now they hunt you too. The hook ends as Ethan hears distant engines approaching. Fast. Ethan stood frozen as the sky above Arden 6 flashed with burning red light. The sound of engines shook the air, deep, thunder-like, unnatural. It was nothing like human ships. It felt heavier, older, almost alive. Lyra, the alien girl who no longer looked weak, stepped in front of him. Her silver hair floated slightly even though there was no wind. Her eyes glowed like two small suns. You must listen, she said firmly. Everything changed the moment you gave me food. Ethan swallowed hard. I didn't mean to. I just wanted to help you. That is the problem, Lyra replied. Humans do not know what kindness means in my culture. Before Ethan could ask, the sky cracked open. A massive shape descended through the clouds. A giant black ship with sharp wings and glowing red. Symbols carved across its hull. It didn't look built. It looked grown, like living metal. Ethan felt his knees weaken. What is that? Lyra answered quietly, my clan's bloodseeker. The ship released a chilling, vibrating sound, as if it was sniffing the air, searching. For me, Lyra said. And for you. For me, Ethan whispered, shocked. Why would they care about me? Lyra looked at him with an uncomfortable expression, almost like guilt. Because you fed me. In our ancient oath, sharing food in a moment of death creates a bond. A sacred link. You are now my protector. Ethan blinked, confused. Protector? I can't protect anything. I can barely protect myself. That does not matter, Lyra replied. The bond is sealed. If enemy clans capture you, they will carve out your memories. If my own clan captures you, they will drag you before the high throne to judge your worth. Ethan exhaled sharply. Judge my worth? For what? Lyra stepped closer and whispered. For standing at the side of the future ruler. Ethan stared at her in disbelief. You mean, you're not just a princess? Lyra's expression shifted, pride mixed with sadness. I am the heir of the Varithian throne. The next queen, the one who carries the blood of all clans. Ethan's brain felt like it stopped working. He had given a chocolate bar to someone whose title could start or end wars. He ran a hand down his face. You've got to be kidding. Me, Lyra didn't smile. She pointed at the giant ship above them. They're landing. A deafening thump shook the ground as the bloodseeker touched the surface. Its wings folded inward like a giant insect preparing to strike. A long ramp extended from its belly, and shadowy figures stepped out. Tall warriors with sharp helmets, glowing weapons, and armor that looked like molten red stone. They can smell the oath, Lyra said. They can smell the one who fed me. Ethan took a step back. What do we do? Lyra surprised him by grabbing his hand. Her grip was strong, not like a child's at all. We run, she said. Now, she pulled him behind a broken building just as the warriors reached the ground. Ethan peeked from behind the rubble. The Varithian hunters scanned the area, moving with animal-like precision. Their armor shifted and clicked with every movement. One of them pressed his hand on the ground, feeling the dust, then lifted it to his mask. Tracking scent, Lyra whispered. They detect emotions, heat, and fear. Ethan whispered back, so I shouldn't be scared? You should be. Terrified, she replied honestly, but silent. Before Ethan could even process that, another sound echoed in the ruins, a robotic screech. 2 more ships dropped from the sky, smaller, angular with blue lights. Lyra's eyes widened. Not them. Who are they? Ethan asked. Enemy clans, Lyra whispered. They want my bloodline. If they catch you, they will use your bond with me to control future rulers. Ethan felt cold sweat on his neck. Great, he murmured. So both your people and your enemies want to kidnap me. Lyra corrected him softly. No, Ethan, they want to own you. And through you, own me. He stared at her. I just gave you chocolate. And it changed everything, she said. Her voice trembled, the first time since her transformation. Ethan noticed it. She wasn't scared for herself. She was scared for him. Lyra turned away from the approaching enemies and said, We must escape through the old subway tunnels. Come. Ethan hesitated only 1 second. Then he nodded because even though she was alien royalty, even though hunters were coming from all directions, she was still the girl he saved, and she was holding his hand like her life depended on him. Together, they disappeared into the darkness below. As they ran, the ruined world shook above them. 2 clans arriving at the same time, both searching for the human who changed everything with one act of kindness. The old subway tunnel was dark, cold, and smelled like rusted metal. Flickering blue emergency lights glowed every few meters, barely enough to see the broken tracks. Ethan ran behind Lyra, their footsteps echoing through the silent underground. Maze above them, the surface rumbled with explosions. The 2 alien clans were clashing, searching, scanning, hunting. Ethan's breath shook. Will they follow us down here? Lyra didn't slow down. The Bloodseeker can. The enemy ships cannot. But the hunters, all of them can smell the bond. Ethan stared at her. What does the bond smell like? Like life, Lyra whispered. Like hope. And they hate hope. A metallic roar echoed from behind. Something huge crashed through the upper floor, tearing metal railings apart. A deep, animalistic growl rolled down the tunnel. Lyra froze. Ethan whispered, What is that? Lyra slowly turned toward the sound. A Varithian hound, Ethan blinked. Wait, like a dog? No, Lyra said. Not a dog, a living machine designed to hunt royal blood. Another roar shook the tunnel. Run, she said sharply. They sprinted across the tracks as a massive shadow appeared at the far end. A creature the size of a small truck crawled down the tunnel wall like a spider. Its body was armored with black metal plates. 6 glowing red eyes scanned the darkness, and its jaw opened into 4 sharp segments, dripping with mechanical fluid. Ethan choked on fear. That thing is not a hound. It smells me, Lyra said, and through me, it smells you. The creature screeched and leapt toward them with impossible speed. Lyra grabbed Ethan's arm and pulled him down a maintenance ladder. Quick! They slid down into a second tunnel, smaller, tighter, with pipes running along the walls. The sound of metal claws scraping above them made Ethan flinch. The hound was tracking. Why do they have monsters hunting you? Ethan whispered. Because I ran away, Lyra replied. Her voice was calm, but her eyes looked far away. I refused the throne. I refused the war. Ethan slowed his steps. You refuse to be queen? Lyra nodded once. My people believe. Strength comes from battle. They wanted me to conquer planets, destroy enemies, and rule through fear. But I wanted something else. What? Lyra looked at him, a strange softness in her expression. I wanted peace. Ethan blinked. He wasn't expecting that. But when I refused, Lyra continued, They forced me into the ritual of power. I escaped. They chased me. I crashed here. And without food, I would have died. Ethan felt a shock inside his chest. So, the chocolate didn't just save your life. It saved your choice. Lyra stopped walking. Ethan, I owe you more than you understand. But before Ethan could reply, the tunnel suddenly lit up with red light. From the shadows emerged 3 enemy hunters. Their armor was blue and black, their masks sharp like bird beaks. They carried long spears made of glowing energy. Lyra's eyes widened. Already here. One hunter pointed directly at Ethan. There he is, the hunter hissed. The human who holds the bond. Ethan stepped back, heart racing. Me? Why me? Another hunter laughed. Because through you, we control her. Lyra stepped in front of him with surprising fierceness. You will not touch him. The hunters spread out, circling them. Ethan whispered, Can you fight them? Yes, she said quietly. But fighting them will reveal my full power. And that will call the entire Bloodseeker fleet. A hunter lunged forward suddenly, too fast to avoid. Ethan closed his eyes. But a shockwave boomed through the tunnel. When he opened them, Lyra stood before him with glowing hands. The hunter who attacked was thrown into a wall, armor cracked. Like glass. Her voice turned cold. I warned you. The other 2 hunters stepped back, nervous now. She awakened, one whispered. She carries the royal spark. Before they could move, the tunnel ceiling shook again, this time much harder. Dust fell like rain. Pipes burst open. Something huge punched through from above. The hound dropped into the tunnel. The hunters screamed as the mechanical beast attacked them first, slashing and tearing with terrifying speed. They had no time to fight back. Lyra grabbed Ethan's hand again. Now is our chance. They ran deeper into the underground maze as the hound shredded the hunters behind them. Ethan gasped. That thing will chase us next. It will chase me, Lyra corrected. Her grip tightened. And you are tied to me. The tunnel ahead split into 3 dark paths. Ethan stared at all 3, terrified. Which way? Lyra looked at him with glowing eyes and said something that made Ethan's heart stop. I cannot choose. What? Why? She swallowed hard. Because the bond has shifted. Now you must choose. The mechanical hound roared in the distance, closing in. Ethan trembled. His next step would decide both their fates. The tunnel behind them shook violently as the Varithian hound smashed through fallen pipes. Its roar echoed like thunder, metal grinding against stone. Ethan stared at the 3 dark pathways ahead, left, right, and center. Each tunnel looked the same, narrow, broken, and pitch black. Lyra stood close to him, breathing fast. Her silver hair glowed softly in the dark. Choose, Ethan, she whispered. The bond listens to your decision. Ethan shook his head. Why me? You know this place better. No, she said. The bond has shifted. I cannot see the future paths anymore. You decide, and I follow. Another roar. Louder. Ethan didn't think anymore. He simply trusted his instinct. Middle path, he shouted. Lyra nodded instantly. Run! They sprinted into the center tunnel. The deeper they ran, the colder the air became. The walls grew tighter, forcing them to run single file. Water dripped from broken pipes above. Ethan kept looking back. Lyra noticed. Do not look behind, she said. Fear feeds the hound. That's not helping. Ethan replied, shaking. Lyra surprised him with a small laugh. Even in danger, she could laugh. You humans, she said. Even when death chases you, you try to stay brave. Ethan didn't feel brave. But he kept running. The tunnel opened into a wider chamber, an abandoned underground station. Broken benches, shattered screens, and old vending machines covered the platform. The silence was thick, almost heavy. Lyra slowed down and touched the damaged wall. Ancient alien symbols glowed faintly under her hand. "This place was once linked to my people," she whispered, "centuries ago." Ethan blinked. "Your people were here, on a human colony world?" "Yes," she said softly. "Long before humans arrived." She looked at him with sad eyes. "And long before I was born." Before Ethan could ask more, a sharp pain struck Lyra. She fell to her knees, clutching her chest. "Lyra!" He ran to her. Her body glowed brighter, too bright, like flickering energy. "What's happening?" she gasped. "The bond is shifting again. Your choice created a new path. The future is rewriting, changing shape." Ethan knelt beside her, trying to steady her shoulders. "Just breathe." But the moment he touched her, everything around them pulsed. A wave of blue-white energy burst from Lyra's body, spreading across the station like ripples in water. Lights flickered. Old alien symbols lit up. Even the air felt alive. Lyra opened her eyes slowly. They were glowing brighter than ever. "Ethan," she whispered. "You changed the bond. You changed me." Ethan stared. "I didn't do anything. You chose the path," she said softly. "You chose to run forward, not hide. You chose life, not fear." She reached out and touched his hand, gently. Not with royal power, but with something human-like. "You made me stronger." Before Ethan could reply, a loud metallic crash shattered the moment. The hound had arrived. It leapt down from a hole in the ceiling, landing with a quake. 6 red eyes scanned the station, glowing like burning coals. Lyra pulled Ethan behind a broken pillar. "Stay close." The hound sniffed the air, then growled, a deep, vibrating sound that made the ground tremble. "Can we outrun it?" Ethan whispered, "No." "Can we hide?" "No." "Can you fight it?" Lyra hesitated. And that hesitation told Ethan everything. "It is made from the blood of past queens," she explained. "It was created to overpower us. I cannot defeat it alone," Ethan whispered. "Then what do we do?" Lyra looked at him, really looked. A mix of fear, strength, and trust in her eyes. "We use the bond." She placed her hand over his chest. Ethan felt a warm pulse rush through him, like someone poured liquid light into his veins. "Wait, what are you doing?" "Sharing strength," she said. "I give you part of my spark." Ethan's hands glowed faintly. His heartbeat quickened. His vision sharpened. He could hear things he couldn't hear before, the distant hum of the station, even the faint mechanical gears inside the hound's body. The beast turned toward them, sensing the energy. Ethan whispered, "I'm not a fighter." Lyra stood up slowly, glowing brighter. "You don't need to be a fighter." She looked at him with a soft, fearless smile. "You just need to stand with me." The hound roared and charged toward them. Ethan tightened his fists, glowing with Lyra's energy. And for the first time, he didn't step back. The Varithian hound charged like a living storm, metal claws tearing through the floor. Ethan stood beside Lyra, hands glowing with her shared energy. His legs trembled, but he didn't run. "Not this time, Ethan," Lyra whispered. "Focus. Feel the spark. It listens to you." He took a deep breath and raised his hands. The glow brightened. The hound leapt, and Lyra slammed her palm to the ground. Boom! A shockwave burst outward, creating a shield around both of them. The hound smashed into it and bounced back with a furious roar. But the shield cracked. Ethan saw it break, like thin ice. "Lyra, it's not holding." "I know," she said. "We have 5 seconds. For what?" "For them." Thunder shook the entire station. The ceiling split open with blinding red light. Ethan shielded his eyes as a ship descended through the dust. A massive crimson vessel shaped like a spear, the Bloodseeker. Lyra whispered, but this time she wasn't afraid. Her eyes held something else. Acceptance. Sadness. Destiny. The ship hovered above the station. engines humming like ancient beasts. The air grew hot from the energy thrusters. Then, a giant ramp unfolded, hitting the ground with a deep metallic boom. Figures emerged, tall, armored, radiating power. At least 20 Verithian royal guards, each wearing black-red armor carved with ancient battle marks. Their glowing helmets locked onto Lyra immediately. Ethan froze. "They're your people?" "They are the royal enforcers," Lyra said. "My clan's elite." One of them stepped forward, taller than the rest, armor decorated with golden lines. He removed his helmet slowly, revealing a stern alien face with dark silver eyes. "Princess Lyra Vercullis," he declared, voice echoing. "You are commanded to return to the throne." Lyra's shoulders stiffened. "My uncle sent you." "Yes," the commander replied. "The queen is ill. The heirs are fighting. The throne is unstable. Your return is required." Ethan swallowed. This was no normal rescue. This was political. Dangerous. Imperial. The commander's eyes shifted. "To Ethan and the human?" Lyra immediately stepped in front of Ethan. "He is under my protection." The commander raised an eyebrow. "We detected an oath. Did he give you food during your dying state?" Lyra hesitated. Ethan whispered, "Lyra, tell the truth." She nodded slowly. "Yes, he fed me." Every guard stepped back instantly. 2 dropped to one knee. The commander lowered his gaze in shock. "The ancient bond," he whispered. "Then he is not just a human. He's the chosen protector." Ethan blinked. "The what?" No, I just shared chocolate. That's all." The guards murmured among themselves. Some seemed impressed, others confused, a few even angry. The commander continued, "Human Ethan Ward. According to our laws, any being who saves the life of the heir becomes sacred, a guardian of royal blood. No one may harm you." The hound suddenly roared again, rising from behind debris. Before anyone could react, it leaped forward, but all 20 guards fired at once. Red lightning struck the hound, tearing it to pieces in seconds. Metal flew everywhere. The beast collapsed, smoking. Ethan stared in shock. "Okay. Wow." Lyra touched his arm gently. "You stood with me when no one else did. You earned their respect." But the moment of peace didn't last. The commander stepped closer to Lyra, lowering his voice. "Princess, there is more. The throne is surrounded. 3 clans demand your return. Without you, war will break across 7 systems." Lyra's expression softened, then hardened. Duty was calling her back. Slowly she turned to Ethan. "You do not have to come with me," she whispered. "If you want, they can take you to a safe human colony." Ethan felt his chest tighten. "Leave her? After everything? After hunters, tunnels, machines, bonds? After sharing strength, fear, and hope?" He stared at her glowing eyes that once looked young, scared, lonely. Now they looked royal, but still searching for something. "Ethan," she whispered. "Again, this is your choice." The commander waited. The guards waited. The whole ruined world felt still. Ethan finally spoke. "I didn't save you to leave you." Lyra's breath caught. He stepped closer. "Where you go?" "I go." The commander nodded slowly, impressed. "So be it. The protector stands with the heir." The guards stepped aside, forming a corridor of honor leading up the ramp. Lyra gently took Ethan's hand, the same way she did in the tunnels, but now with pride, not fear. "Then your journey," she said softly, "changes from this moment." Together, they walked toward the ship, but just as they reached the ramp, a sharp explosion shook the ground. A second enemy ship appeared above, glowing blue. The war for the heir had just begun. The shockwave from the enemy ship blasted across the ruined station, blowing dust and broken metal everywhere. Ethan instinctively pulled Lyra down behind a fallen pillar as blue energy beams streaked across the chamber. The royal guards raised their shields immediately. The commander shouted, "Enemy clan, protect the air." The air burned with heat as two giant blue armored warriors dropped from the enemy ship and landed hard. Their armor glowed with icy patterns, and their weapons hummed like frozen lightning. "Vralith clan," Lyra whispered. "My people's oldest enemy." The Vralith warriors scanned the room, then pointed straight at Ethan. "There!" One shouted, "The human who holds the bond. Capture him alive." Ethan froze. "Why alive?" Lyra's voice was tight. "Because through you, they can control me." The commander stepped forward, raising his spear. "Ethan Ward is under royal protection." But the Vralith warriors fired first. Blue beams cut through the station floor, sending shockwaves that knocked several guards off their feet. Lyra grabbed Ethan's arm. "Stay behind me." A third Vralith warrior leapt from above, aimed directly for Ethan like a falling meteor. Ethan barely had time to breathe, but Lyra moved faster. She shoved Ethan aside and took the full hit. Crash! The ground shattered under her body. "Lyra!" Ethan screamed. Her body glowed weakly, flickering like a dying candle. The blow had cracked her chest armor. A sharp blue blade was embedded in her side, glowing cold. She tried standing, but fell. To one knee, the Vralith warrior smirked. "The princess bleeds." "Interesting." Ethan crawled to her, grabbing her shoulders. "Stay with me, Lyra, stay with me." Her breathing was shallow. She closed her eyes for a moment, then whispered, "The spark inside me, it's fading." No, you're not dying," Ethan said firmly, his voice shaking. "Don't say that." She touched his cheek with a trembling hand. "The bond. I gave you too much of my strength in the tunnel. I am weaker now." Ethan's heart felt like it was tearing apart. Behind them, the battle grew louder, guards clashing with icy warriors, sparks flying, energy beams slicing through the air. The commander yelled, "Princess, get her to the ship. Protect the air." "But..." Lyra shook her head weakly. "Ethan." He leaned closer. "Yes?" Her eyes glowed faintly, soft as moonlight. "You cannot stay here for me." "What are you talking about?" "I'm not leaving you." "You must," she whispered. "If I die, the bond dies with me. You will be safe. The clans will stop hunting you." Ethan froze. She was asking him to save himself by letting her die. Her voice trembled. "Go with the commander. They will take you to a safe colony. Live a long life, Ethan, far from this war." Ethan stared at her, at the girl who once looked weak, then royal, then powerful, and now broken in his arms. Anger rose inside him like fire. "No," he said quietly, fiercely. "I'm not running away." Tears gathered in Lyra's eyes, surprising even herself. "Why?" "Because you didn't run from me," he whispered. "I won't run from you." The Vralith warrior lifted his icy blade again. Pathetic human emotion. "The princess is ours." Ethan stood up, his hands began glowing, not weak like before, strong, fierce, bright. Lyra stared at him in shock. "Ethan, your spark." He clenched his fists. "It's my turn to share strength." Energy flowed from him back into her hand. A warm pulse, a living heartbeat. Their bond glowed between their palms like a small burning star. Lyra gasped. As power surged into her veins, color returned to her eyes. Her wound closed slightly, glowing gold around the edges. The Vralith warrior snarled. "Impossible! The human is fueling her." Lyra rose slowly to her feet, still injured, but burning with renewed energy. She took Ethan's hand, steadying herself. "Together," she whispered. "Together." He agreed. The commander saw them stand and shouted. Royal spark awakened. "Form a protective circle." The guards closed in instantly. The enemy ship charged its main cannon. Lyra squeezed Ethan's hand. "This is the final moment," she whispered. "Choose again." "Choose what?" Ethan asked. Her eyes glowed like a rising sun. Life on a human colony, or standing at my side as we face a war that will shake galaxies. Ethan didn't look away. He had already decided. I choose you. The moment he said it, the bond exploded with golden light. Everyone, guards, enemies, even the commander, stopped to stare, and above them, the sky itself trembled. Something ancient had awakened. The golden energy burst from Ethan and Lyra like a rising sun inside the ruined station. The walls shook, dust floated upward. Even the enemy warriors stepped back, shielding their faces from the blinding light. For a moment, everything went silent. Then the glowing bond between Ethan and Lyra stabilized, a thin beam of gold linking their hands, pulsing like a heartbeat. The commander fell to one knee. The royal spark fully awakened. The Vrelith leader stepped back in fear. That should be impossible. A human cannot ignite the full spark. But Ethan did. He stood beside Lyra, breath steady, eyes glowing faintly like hers. The spark had changed him, made him something different, something more. Lyra squeezed his hand. Ethan, do you understand what you've done? He shook his head. Probably not. She smiled soft and warm. You completed the bond. The ancient bond of equals. Not servant and heir, but partners. Ethan blinked. Partners? Yes, she whispered. And no Vralith, no warrior, no clan can control me now. The bond is complete. I choose my protector. I choose my future. The Vralith warriors roared in anger. Capture them both. Their leader shouted. But before they could move, the Bloodseeker's entire hull glowed red. Ancient symbols along its wings activated, humming like the voices of old gods. Lyra looked up slowly. The throne has felt it. A beam of red gold light shot down from the ship's belly and enveloped Lyra and Ethan, lifting them slightly off the ground. Ethan panicked. What's happening? Lyra placed her hand on his cheek, calm and gentle. The Empire is recognizing the bond, she whispered. It sees us as something new, something unseen for centuries. The commander spoke reverently. The galaxy has not witnessed a mixed spark bond in thousands of years. Human and Vorithian, united. The Vralith leader tried to break through the guards, but was thrown back by the ship's energy field. What does this mean? Ethan asked, heart racing. Lyra floated with him inside the beam, her eyes shining like two stars. It means, she said softly, that the throne will no longer allow anyone else to claim me. Or you. The beam intensified. The air shook. Even the ruined station seemed to bow down. Ethan Ward, Lyra said, her voice echoing through the chamber like royalty and warmth combined. You are no longer just the protector. The beam wrapped tighter around them, merging their sparks. You are now the chosen partner of the air. Ethan's eyes widened. Partner? Lyra nodded, cheeks turning a shade of silver rose. Yes, my equal. My other half in the royal spark. The future queen will stand with a human. The Bloodseeker's engines roared, shaking the entire station. The Vralith warriors panicked. This can't be, one screamed. A human cannot rise with her. But it was already happening. The energy beam pulled Ethan and Lyra upward toward the ship. The guards knelt. The ground cracked. Power surged. Like a storm, Lyra turned her face toward Ethan, close, gentle. You shared food with me when I was dying. You shared strength when I was broken. And you shared your heart when you had no reason to. Ethan's heartbeat slowed. His fear melted. This moment felt right, like destiny. Lyra whispered the final truth. Because of you, Ethan. 2. Galaxies will change their future. The beam lifted them into the Bloodseeker as the station exploded in blue rage below. Enemy ships were blasted back by the ancient energy. The Vralith clan fled the battlefield, knowing they had lost something far greater than a war. The ramp closed. The Bloodseeker soared into the sky. Inside, Lyra leaned gently against Ethan, exhausted but alive. He looked at her, still struggling to understand everything. So what happens now? Lyra smiled softly, almost shy. Now, she said, we return to the throne. Together. And the galaxy will learn what happens when a human and an heir stand side by side. Ethan let out a breath he didn't know he was holding. A human engineer, he said, and an alien queen. Lyra squeezed his hand. Not queen, she whispered. Future queen, and you my chosen. Outside the windows, stars stretched across space like rivers of fire. Their journey, one that started with a single chocolate bar, was only just beginning, and this ending was actually the beginning of a legend.